Hey, it's me, Chris Colley. I am in the rubber room tonight, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm just gonna pop on and make sure I'm in the right spot, and I am. So, I don't normally come on here Monday nights, but due to some things that have been going on, I am doing my class, which is it's a club. It's a virtual club, and it happens every month. And it's going to be happening on the last Monday of every month at 7 o'clock, and we're going to be doing a Zoom. Because of some shipping delays and the holidays and everything, I'm just getting to our December club. So I thought I would pop on here and share it with you guys so you know what club is all about. We always take new people in club, and it is $30 a month or $39 if you want it shipped to you. And each month, your packet is going to include a half a pack of paper, an accessory, and a bolt of ribbon. You get a full accessory and a full pack of ribbon and a half a pack of paper. And then you will get card kits for 8 cards, 2 each of 4 different designs. And your card kits come stacked like this in a little 6x6 cello bag, okay? You also will get tutorials emailed to you. And as a perk for being in the group, I will email you monthly tutorials from my tutorial group that I belong to. And so that's just kind of a perk for being with us, so to speak. So this month we also used the framed florets stamp set and then the coordinating dies that go with it. Okay, let's see, there's some more in here. So you get these really great ovals, and this one especially has like these little teeny tiny hearts in there that are super cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and you will see this is a kit exactly like the ones that were sent out and mailed to club members. So you'll see exactly how your kit is going to be packaged, what's going to be included in it, all that kind of good stuff. Hi, Susie. I hope you have your club packet with you and can follow along with us. So the first card, see, already I'm like, where are things? This is going to be our first card. And we're going to really do some fun things with the ribbon that I showed you. So this is what the ribbon looks like. And we're going to use just the blue part of it for this. And let me grab the rest of the stuff here. Okay. So this is going to be a card number 1. And we're going to start off with some balmy blue cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5. It is scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to take my bone folder, fold it, and burnish it right on that score line. Okay. And this is going to be our next piece. And this one was cut out with that beautiful die that has the hearts on it that I shared with you just a minute ago. And I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. And of course I'm looking for my dimensionals because I like to spend a lot of time just looking for stuff. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put just one dimensional in the middle and on each of the 4 corners. And this would be a great one to use your foam adhesive strips on. So you could put the foam adhesive all the way around all of the edges if you wanted to. And I'm just going to pop those off the back of there. And these cards go together fairly easily because most of the cutting, embossing, etc. is already done. You do have to cut your own pieces of designer series paper. So I'm going to put this right in the middle here. Boy, that is really crooked up here. So Sometimes I have to, I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes I have to stand up to get it straight. Well, that one went crooked the other way. So I am going to stand up and see if I can get this straight. There we go. That was the trick, right? And then we have a little piece of Whisper White, which we're going to stamp our sentiment on, in a blue frame. That is Balmy Blue. And then this little glitter heart was made with the Country Floral punch that is part of the Country Floral Suite, which is in the new catalog. Absolutely gorgeous suite. So we're going to cut out a circle or an oval, definitely an oval, to go in the middle of this. And I'm just going to use a piece of Designer Series paper. It looks like I used that one there, so maybe I'll go for this one here. Let's see. Where are my dies? Okay, and we're going to actually be using the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. How about that for fun? So I'm going to cut this out, and it's going to go right inside of this die. So I'm actually going to be using this one, which this layers right on top of it. So I'm going to use the bigger one. And let's see how I want to cut this. I think I'm going to cut it just like that, and then I can have the little blue sprigs in there too, okay? So I'm going to bring in my handy dandy little cut and emboss machine and grab my plates here. Oh, we got some brand spanking new plates to use tonight. How fun is that? If you guys missed this, this machine is our incentive for the starter kit special during celebration. So if you join during celebration for $129, you get this machine, or you can pick a white one. You don't have to use this blue one. You can pick a white one if you prefer. And you get to pick $175 worth of merchandise. So it is such a great deal. I'm gonna have to cut this over here more to get it through this machine. There we go. And we'll put that just like that. So I'm gonna take my base plate and then a number 2 plate with my die and my Designer Series paper. And then I'm going to put another number 2 plate right on top of it. And I do want to stagger them just a little bit on the ends there. Wow, that one went all over the place, didn't it? All kinds of all over the place. This die might be a little bit big for this machine. Let's try it. I might have to go and get my big one. Let's see. Yep, it looks like it'll go through there, and I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so let's get that on there right where we want it. And I'm going to want it over here, so I need to trim off just a little bit of this paper still. This is probably the biggest die that's going to go through this machine successfully. So let's kind of put that right where we want it. And then we're going to put our number 2 right on top of it. And every time I do that, I move it. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to put it in the machine and crank it through. I'm going to put my hand right on top of it just to give it a little more stability as it goes through there. It's a really lightweight plastic, which makes it very manageable to take places with you. Okay, we've got lots of little pieces of paper there. from the outside. If you can see, it has those little tiny dots on there. So, okay, I'll put that there and get these out of the way. All right, so then we have this piece here, and you're going to be able to layer this die right on top of it. Okay, so it'll layer just like that on top of there. So what I'm going to do is put my adhesive. I'm going to use some Green Anywhere glue. I'm going to put it right here on my balmy blue piece. Oh boy. This is one of those things. Every time I open this, I'm like, will it be my friend today or won't it? And I find the green glue is the easiest one to put these ovals on to kind of layer them up. I'm just going to put it on there like that, and then I'm going to put it right in the center of my oval. Because I'm using that green glue, I do have a little bit of wiggle room on it, or play if you want to. And then I'm just going to set that right down in the middle. Don't you love how those little hearts pop up through there? I think that is so gorgeous. Okay, and I'm just using regular Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And it's going to go on just like that. And you can see the Designer Series paper really is going to make this card pop. Okay, let's get our sentiment out here. And this one's going to say, just a little reminder that you are loved. Now, this stamp set and bundle is included in the mini catalog that just came out. So if you're looking for the stamp set or the bundle, you can get both of them in that catalog. The difference between the stamp set and the bundle is when you purchase the bundle, you get a 10% discount. Okay, and I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to give this a little trim on the edges. So I'm just going to kind of cut it like that on both ends. We'll set that aside. And that's going to go like in here with the little heart down at the bottom of it. So I'm going to put the heart right at the bottom with a little glue dot. I'm just going to put my glue dot in that upper left corner. And we're going to adhere the whole thing with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put it up there in that left-hand corner. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and I want to put it in a bow. So I'm going to cut off enough so that I can get a really good bow. We'll do it right about here. And that's just a guess. And then I'm just going to pull this balmy blue ribbon off the top. It is stitched on there, but it's stitched really lightly with almost like a clear thread. So I'm just going to pull it off. If it gets to a point where I can't pull it easily, rather than force it, I'm just going to take my snips and cut that clear thread that's in there holding it. Okay, so you may have to cut a couple times on that thread to get it off. And like I said, it's almost a clear thread, so you can't really see it until you start to pull it away. I mean, I would get it closer, but you can't. Can you see on my blades there? It's like I said, it's clear, so it's really hard to see, but there's like 3 little lines there, and I'm just snipping those. And once you snip them, you can pull probably a good 3/4 of an inch or so off there as you're going along. And if this is frustrating to you and you don't like it, you always hear me say, improvise, do it your way. It looks great tied just the way that it is, without being just the balmy blue part of it. I like to show you lots of different ways that you can use your supplies and your purchases. So I'm always kind of freeing your ribbon and pulling it apart and showing you different things to do with it. So you don't always have to use it just one way. And you guys, crafters, know that there's lots of different ways to do something. So now I'm just pulling those errant threads out. And I'm gonna tie a little bow. I'm a bunny ear bow girl. So I'm just gonna do my bunny ears and over. Well, I might have cut my piece too small. We're gonna make it work. Do over and through the hole. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right, and then I'm just gonna pull it on both sides so I get a bow that's a good size for where I want. And I'm gonna trim up those ends. And I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, let me grab my dimensionals and we'll pop these on the back of our sentiment. So you can see how quickly these go together. After, you know, your kit is pretty well prepped when you get it. So, like I said, all you really have to do are cut your designer series paper. And I do that because a lot of times you might want to use a different pattern than I used. Or you might not have the same stamps that I do, so you're going to use something that's more masculine than these pretty flowers. So, and save your pretty flower DSP for something else. You have lots of options, so I try to prep it if you want to follow along, and if you don't, that's fine too. You can do alternatives. We have some gals that love alternatives, and they'll make one of the 2 cards that comes in the kit, and then they will improvise for the other 2, or the other one. So I'm going to put this right here at the edge, just like that. Okay, so you can see the difference in, oops, the patterned paper and the piece that I chose. I actually forgot my little gold jewels on there. Dum-dum-dum. I start off with this space all clean in the intention of keeping organized. And I did get myself a little organizer for Christmas that I used the other day. That was absolutely wonderful. And just didn't bring it along with me tonight for some odd reason. Okay, so I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just add 3 of these gold gems. Now you can't get the gems, I don't know if you can, the gems are the designer series paper anymore, but you can get this gorgeous stamp set. So, and again, if you were part of the club, you have these accessories. So there we go. So that is card number 1. Let me pop through here real quick and see if anybody has any questions for that card. Arlena. Oh, thanks, Arlena. My ribbon hack. Well, thank you. I love to do all different kinds of things with ribbon, but that one is, and that skinny balmy blue is just really pretty. I use it a lot. So, all right, this next one is going to be this card here, and it opens like this. Isn't that fun? So there's no, it doesn't open this way. This is just a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you have that fun piece that adds on to the top of it there. Okay, so we are going to start off with, again, the 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 piece of balmy blue. And then we have this, let's see what it is. It is a 6 by 3, I'm sorry, a 9 by 3 piece of balmy blue, scored at 3 inches and 6 inches. And then we have 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 whisper white, and then a little circle. And I think that circle is about 1 1/4 inches, 1.5 inches circle. And I cut the circle using the circle dies for that one. So let's grab our designer series paper, and I think I'm going to use that same pattern for the back, and I have a piece of that blue that is, this is the pack that I used to cut my card kits with. So I think maybe I'll do that with it instead of that one. I think that's awfully pretty. Let me see if I have another. Okay, so that's the piece that I want. And then my coordinating piece with it, I think I am going to do this blue with that. I think that'll be really pretty. Or we could try using just this one, but I think I'm gonna like that contrast. So let's try that. Yeah, let's do that one and see how we like it, okay? So we are going to cut 2 pieces at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and they're going to go right on top of this 3 by 3 inch or 3 by 9 inch piece. Just a little hack that I use for my paper trimmer. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this little slot here in the middle, you can, if you're mailing something, if it fits through that slot, it will go through the postal machine. So you don't have to pay extra, and it doesn't have to be hand sorted. So, okay, we're gonna do 2 pieces at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I love our trimmer, so just lots of little things that I can tell you about that you can't get them anywhere else, ladies. So this one is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. And that's going to be our layer on top. Okay. So those would be the 3 pieces that you would have to cut on your own for this class, or for this card. Okay, so let's bring these in here. I'm going to take my little circle and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. My sentiment for this one says, for a special person on a special day. This stamp set has the greatest sentiments with it. Okay. And I always try to stick with 1 or 2 coordinating colors for your paper. We're going to start by putting this designer series paper right on here. And again, I'm just going to use my regular Stampin' Seal for that. And I'm going to center it on there. Let's see if I can do it without standing up. That's the other trick that sometimes helps, is to just put my tongue between my lips and furrow my brows a little bit. Okay, so this is going to go just like this. We're going to do a little valley fold or accordion fold. So I'm going to fold it towards me, and then I'm going to fold it away from me. Okay, so it's kind of like a little accordion almost. And it's going to pull up like this. So I am going to put my designer series paper right there, but I'm going to cut a little piece of ribbon to put around there. And rather than use a whole piece of ribbon and add that extra bulk behind it, I'm just going to use a piece big enough to go side to side. So my piece is about maybe, I don't know, 3 inches, 3 1/4 inches. And I'm going to put adhesive all the way around on the back of my designer series paper. And then I'm going to add my ribbon to the back of it. Now, especially when you're doing a whole class or a bunch of make and take, sometimes I use these at my team meeting, and this will really save on your ribbon. And if I'm going to put ribbon all the way around it onto the back, then I'm going to pop it up with some dimensionals, because that's the only way that ribbon is not going to get really bulky back there. And then I'm just going to pop it on there. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. And I'm going to kind of put them at the top and the bottom. And you can always put 3 on there if you prefer. I think I'm going to, as I say that, just add 1 more to the top here. And it's going to go on just like that. Now, I'm going to take a little piece of ribbon, and I still have my ribbon attached to my spool, so I'm going to be able to cut the exact size that I want, and that will save me even a little bit more ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a little knot there. It's kind of like half a knot. I guess I need another dimensional on there, don't I? It's kind of popping up. Let's see if I can squeeze one under there. Get there. Okay, much better. And then I'm just going to bring in my scissors and trim that ribbon up. And I actually am going to kind of fold it over. There we go. And that ribbon is kind of soft enough that you can kind of play with it a little bit and get it exactly how you want it. And this would make a nice little kind of 3x3 card too, if you wanted to use it like for a gift bag or something like that. So I'm going to put my other piece of designer series paper right here and my white piece of cardstock down here, and that's where you're going to be able to add your sentiment. Wow. Got my, there we go. I got all kinds of sticky on my paper already. Okay, so I'm going to put this 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 right in the middle there. And then my designer series paper is going to go on that top flap. I kind of like that paper with it. That's the beauty of getting your own paper, so you can use the different combinations that you like, or you can do the ones that I picked. It's when you have your own paper, and their paper is so gorgeous. Sometimes I spend more time trying to decide what side of the paper to use than I do making my card. Okay, just some regular Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put that right in the center. And you can do either way. If you want it to go this way, you can do it like that. I kind of like the hot dog instead of the hamburger look. Let's see if I can get that straight. There we go. So here is card number 2. It's going to pull up just like that. And here's what it looks like in the other color. Oh, dang. I forgot my little jewels again. I'm really glad that I'm going to put one right there, and I'm just going to kind of flick it underneath the edge a little bit. And I'm going to do one there and one there. Okay, so those are in some different places than where I have them here. So you can kind of pick which one you like best, or you can do your own combination too. However you like to work it is good. So let's clear off here and see some of my comments. Arlena does this, and she can, I'm glad you love card number 2. She can see your comments as you go, and I can't do that. I'm gonna have to have her give me a little tutorial. Oh, thanks, Nanette, I'm glad you like it. Oh, Lynette, hi, welcome to our group. And Cindy, I'm glad that you're watching and you shared us. I'm excited about that. I love being shared. Okay, so this is card number 3. This might be my favorite just because I love that polished pink color. I think that is just gorgeous. And with that navy, Night of Navy, it just really, really pops it, right? And on this one, I also used this brick wall embossing folder. If you guys don't have this, I use this embossing folder a lot. It's called Brick and Mortar. And it's a 3D embossing folder, so you're just gonna, when you put it through, you're just gonna use your gray plate on it, so you don't have a lot of stuff to layer up with it. This is a tag from the Tags and More set. And I think that's about all of the goodies that we need for that one. I'm gonna start with stamping my sentiment. This one I'm going to stamp in Night of Navy, and it is going to say thank you with all my heart, which kind of coordinates with all of those little hearts in there. And again, when you're stamping, you just need like 3 quick taps on there. You don't want to smush it because then you're going to get ink around your the outside of your photopolymer. So we don't want to do that. You want just a light tap. Here we go. And I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And this piece of Night of Navy is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. Just going to fold it on that score line, bring in my bone folder and burnish it. And then I am going to put some dimensionals on here again, just to puff this up. And again, if you wanted to use your adhesive foam strips, this is a great place to use them. And I put some in the middle just so it's not going to be all saggy in there. We don't like that. And then I'm going to show you another ribbon hack. We actually have 4 cards, and we're going to use this ribbon in 4 different ways. I love ribbon, and it can add so much to a card. And so it just, I really love adding it in different ways. And I have, the more ways you can use something, I think the better value it is. So we're going to cut a piece of Designer Series paper. It looks like 1.5 inches. So it's going to be 1.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So this is going to be my scrap paper. And I'm going to cut this way at 1.5. The other thing I like about this trimmer, one of the other things, is I can cut over here on this side too. So if I wanted to do 1 inch or 1 1/4 or 1.5, I can use that guide also for it. So we're gonna go 5 1/4. All right, and I'm keeping the same paper that I used on my sample just because I really like those colors together in that pattern. So I'm just gonna add that to the side. And this side of the paper would also look great on there. It's that polished pink and would be really pretty, right? But I think this side, again, it just makes it pop a little bit more. And there we go. Now I'm going to take, this is that piece of ribbon where we pulled the blue off the other side of it. Remember, it had that blue on it, looked like this. And we trimmed that blue off for card number 1. Well, this is what we're gonna use for the other side. Or we're gonna use the other piece of it for this card, which really makes this bolt of ribbon a tremendous value when you think that you actually have 4 different ways that you can use this same piece of ribbon. So I'm just gonna pop that through the little hole on my tag. And that hole punches with your tag die. I'm just gonna pull that through. And again, I'm gonna tie it in a knot. I think a bow with this width of ribbon would be too much for the top of this tag. Okay, and I like, it just kind of sits really pretty up there, like that. And I'm gonna go in and trim these off. These are like my favorite ribbon scissors. When we go to conventions, we have a guy there that will sharpen your scissors, and I like have this relationship with my scissors where I sharpen them instead of buying new ones. Okay, we're just gonna put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on here and kind of go like that with it. And then I'm gonna kind of distress the edges of this. You can leave it just like this and it looks absolutely beautiful that way. But I kind of like that distressed look. So I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm just going to hold my cardstock so that it's facing up. The edge is facing up. Let me grab my charm there. And I'm going to open my scissors and take my scissor blade and just kind of rough up that edge. And this gives it some added texture. It kind of gives it that little shabby chic sort of look to it. And you can see it's just kind of freeing the paper a little bit. You can see the paper shreds falling. You can also do this with your fingernail. That works on the edges to just kind of rough them up. I prefer my scissors, but I do have some team members who like to do it with their nails. And you can do it, it will fold it as much or as little as you like. I like kind of just almost a soft, rough look, if that's a thing. And I'm going to pop this one up with some dimensionals also. Arlena gave us these great little scissor charms that are gnomes. They are so adorable. I'll have to use those snips next time I come, but these ones were in my packet. They are so cute, Arlena. And every time I pull them out, I think about you, which is super nice, because I like thinking about my friends. Okay, so before I forget, I'm going to add these little gold swirls. And I'm going to put one down here, and one up here. See, that's what happens when I don't use my tools. I have tools for these, but I like to just use my fingers, and sometimes that's not always good. I'll put that one there. And then I think I'll stick one right in there. Okay. And let's get some dimensional. Here we go. I actually am going to put one of a dimensional right in the middle here too, just so that we don't get collapsed in the middle. I noticed some of my club gals are on here, and to do club, we actually, your charge card is charged the first week of the month, and then we do our Zoom, like I said, on the last Friday of the month at 7 o'clock. And it's also streamed into our Facebook group. We have our own little private Facebook group where we can share all alternatives. And we also will share the Zoom recording there. So if you can't make it, you can still have the opportunity to watch. Okay, this one turned out almost exactly like this one, but they're so beautiful. So I'm happy to have two of them, right? And then this one is kind of a fun fold. And again, it is the Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. I've been prepping for my catalog lunch, which is coming up this weekend. And it has some designer series papers in it that have that Balmy Blue and the Night of Navy. And that is such a gorgeous combination. Oh, Cindy, I'm glad you like it. Oh, the pink and the blue together. Yep, that is really pretty. I agree, Susie. I think that's gorgeous. But then, you know, I see the Balmy Blue and the navy together, and I think that's every bit as gorgeous. So, you know, what's a girl to do, right? Okay, so this one, this white piece is going to go on the inside. So we have a piece of Night of Navy that is 4 1/4 by 11. The 11-inch side is scored at 5 1/2. We're just going to fold and burnish. And then I'm just going to quickly add this white piece to the inside of it. And there we go. That way I won't forget to do that. I think I have to do that for this this one here. I need to add a white piece to the inside too. I like to add it when I'm making it. That way I don't forget to do it and then need it on the run and have to do it. So this again is a 4 1/4 piece by 11, and no, it's by 10. Yep, 10 1/2. Okay, so this one is 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. and it is scored at 3 1/8 and 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm gonna fold in and then back out, and that's gonna give us that really nice fancy fold that we want. And I just did that totally backwards. There we go. We're gonna fold the other way. So this is gonna sit right on top of our card base. Oh, what am I doing wrong? Let me see here. Bear with me. Scored it wrong. There we go. That's the problem. So you guys that have these kits will have to go in and rescore. And let's see where that score line really is. So we're going to do 5 1/4, which is this line here, right? Yep, 5 1/4. Okay, so this is my wrong score line, and it should be at 2 3/4, which makes sense because that is half of 5 1/4. So it's going to be at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about this little line too much because I'm going to be putting Designer Series paper over it. Now let's see if that is better. Boy. Okay, what I'm going to do is just fold this in half. I'm going to skip the scoring and just fold it right in half there. And then I'll tell you what the real true measurement is. Okay. We'll smooth that out there. So for reals, your measurement is going to be 2 3/4. There we go. Okay. So it's 2 3/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so it's going to fold up like this, and look at there. Perfect. 3 times is the charm for that one, apparently. All right, and let's pick our paper. And again, I think I'm going to go with that same one. I think I like that. I could do this one with it. Let's try that one. What the heck? That one will look okay with it. It has the balmy blue and the navy with it. So let's try it. We'll get a whole different feel for it. Now I'm going to actually look at my directions for this one so I don't have to score my paper 100 times or cut my paper 100 times to get the right one. So we're going to cut it 5 by 3 3/4 and then 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut my 3 3/4 first. Okay, and then I'm going to do 5 and 2 3/8. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to, and you could, if you wanted to, cut another piece of paper for in here. And I think I'm going to, just because I've scored mine so many times that it will kind of help to cover that up. So I'm going to actually cut 2 of them at 2 3/8. Okay, and if you can score your paper correctly, you guys that have the ones I scored for you will probably need to make some adjustments, but okay, so we're going to take the 5 1/8 piece and put some regular adhesive, some regular Stampin' Seal on it. Put that right in the middle there. And you're going to put this piece in here where I did all of my score lines. And we'll put this piece out here. And you may want to even make that one a little bit bigger on the inside, but we'll do this. Okay, so this one's gonna go open like that. And this one I think I want just a little 1/4 of an inch bigger, but I think I'll leave it like that for this one. Nobody will know the difference. And then we have these 2 pieces that are gonna go in here. And I wanted to use both of those, but I think I am going to, let me see if I have a piece of white here. I know I do. Okay. I'm going to trim this just a little bit so it will go through that little mini machine. And I'm going to bring it back in, and I'm going to cut the oval that will fit behind there. So if you have this card kit, and I didn't on mine, what I did was I just taped my blue to the back of it. So it kind of, I don't know, kind of sags down a little bit, maybe is what I want to call it. But I'm going to do this. And we'll let it, it will be much easier to work with that way because it won't have that sag in it. And we can put it together just like we did the one for our first card. So let's get this little guy going. And again, I'm going to hang on here. I love this blue color. Sometimes it's the color just really kind of picks you up a little bit. But this is going to be one of our new in colors, the boho blue. So when our new catalog comes out, that's going to be one of the new in colors. And I know, I love the color. But see how the outside of this frame, isn't that gorgeous? It is so pretty. And then the inside fits right behind the other oval. So they'll stick right together. When you glue it together, you have that nice smooth back to it. So, but I was going to tell you, this, we're talking about the Night of Navy, how much you love it and how it coordinates with that bright polished pink and then with the boho, or with the balmy blue. But look at this, you guys. Is that a gorgeous color combination? I just love it. So I am excited about the new in colors, just getting excited about the new machine and then the new in color and all of the things it's going to go with. I don't know about you guys, but I already had to take some cardstock and get in there and see which colors were going to look the best with it. And it's just, it's going to be a really cool color to add to our color palette. So I'm going to do Night of Navy for my words. I'm going to put them a little more towards the top. Because I want to put a bow at the bottom. There we go. And I probably should have glued my frame on first so I could see where it was going to come around here, but I didn't. So let's just, I'm sure it'll work where I have it. Look, my green glue, I have used it twice tonight, and it has been my friend both times. It's like a New Year's little blessing that I've been given. I'm excited about that. Usually we kind of wrestle around a bit and it doesn't always respect me like I wish it would. Okay, so there's our words. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the bottom of it. I don't want to put anything on the top because then it will hold it down and I won't be able to open it. So I'm going to put dimensionals right at this bottom loop here. Probably should have looked at that when I was putting it on there, but, and I'm going to do just like a little kind of smiley face there. A big old smile. And there we go. And regular Stampin' Seal on the back of my balmy blue. And I'm going to put this all over it. And in the center of my card. Okay, now we are going to take a piece of ribbon. I want this in a bow, so I'm going to take a pretty hefty piece because I want kind of a big bow. And again, I am going to take that blue ribbon piece right off the top of it. And you probably know that I'm looking at it. Oh, we did use one where we left the ribbon together. So you actually are going to have 4 different ideas with this ribbon. And this one, we're going to fray this white ribbon. I hope you guys all had a happy new year. It seems like it's been forever ago because right after that we had the catalog launch and celebration, and my celebration list was very, very long. I just loved everything in that catalog, and the mini catalog was just as bad. That mini catalog had so many things in it, and it's going to be good for only a month, or a month shorter than our other one, so it's only good through April. And then we're going to get our new catalog, so some really super exciting, fun things going on. We're going to have some online exclusive products that you can just get online that are going to start in a few months. So we're going to have a really great Stampin' Up! Year with so many new things happening. I'm excited about the online exclusive deals because they're kind of like when you go in the store and you can't find your size, but you can go online and find all of the sizes and all of different kinds of shapes, different kinds of colors and styles. And I'm going to set that piece aside. So you really have lots more options, and sometimes it's fun to see what you can find online that you don't get when you go into a store, which I think is going to be a really fun thing. I'm wondering if maybe they'll coordinate with products that are already in our catalog. Our product coordination is absolutely amazing. Okay, so we'll get those little clear threads out, and now I'm just going to cut right along the edge. Just going to take that edge right off. I have some downline who think that this is way too messy to do, so she would never, actually they would never do that. I have more than one of them, but that's okay. For everybody has their own things when they craft, their own preferences. I like to get dirty. It's not like I'm a dirty girl or anything, but I don't mind having frayed ribbon and ink on my fingers and all of that kind of, I think that's kind of fun. So, but I always clean up afterwards, right? So I'm just going to then pull my ribbon out, and you can pull all of these threads or you can just pull some of them. So I'm going to pull all of them out right up to this seam. Okay, so that is going to give you this really, really thick bunch of ribbon here. I personally think that that's kind of fluffy and a lot. And so for this one, instead of pulling them all out, I'm going to pull about half of them. So this again will give you a couple of more different looks than you had with the other one. So you can do a real fluffy look, or you can do a skinnier look. And I'm just kind of fluffing it off to get all those strings out of it. And then I'm just going to tie it in a bow. And this one, I'm going to do 2 really big ears. And just pull one over the other. Actually, I think I'm going to twist it a bit. And this will give you, okay, so I'm going to twist it all up. And that way it will be easier to pull my loop through there. And that will be easier than doing the bunny ears. But I'm going to use 2 fingers so I get this really big loop there. And that way it'll be easier to see them to pull them through. Okay, so I have my 2. And then again, I'm just going to put my fingers over the knot in the middle and pull them to get them the size that I want. So this is just kind of, again, a fun kind of alternative, and it does look messy. So if you're a kind of an OCD that likes to have everything in its place and all exact on both sides, this may not be the kind of bow that's for you. But you can easily, again, do just the white bow like we did on the other card. Okay, so I'm going to trim my ends. And put it on with a little glue dot. And I can always come back and trim those ends up some more. I'm putting a glue dot right in the middle there. Okay, so you can see the difference in these bows. So it's the same thing, only this one we used about half as many threads as we did with that one. That one reminds me of a really cozy, comfy comforter for your bed. Just kind of all fluffy, and you just kind of fall right into it. Where this one's kind of more of a Raggedy Ann kind of look, where it's just kind of adorable all on its own. Okay, and then you guys know what's coming next, right? You're going to add these, and I'm going to kind of add 3 of them right across here. And I'm going to add them kind of just a tad of an angle, because my words are just kind of, how about that? Isn't that adorable? And you guys, I kind of like this paper too. I do need to add a little piece in there. I'll go back in and fix that though. But I do like this paper just as much as the other one. What do you guys think? Just leave a little comment there. Let me know. I'll pull these out one more time. And you guys have until the end of this month to sign up and join club if you want to. So here is this one. And again, it's to go because we do it virtually. So it's $39 if you want it mailed to you, or $30 if you want to pick it up. And then we have this one with these 2 different papers. And you sign up. We charge your card at the beginning of the month. So you need to sign up by the end. And I'll be posting some dates and some reminders for you also. And then those. And then this one that I did the same. Just love that. So let me take a peek before I say goodbye to all of you guys. I hope you're going to have a wonderful night. Cindy, you love them all. You might need to join clubs, Cindy. Hello, Diana. It's good to see you. I hope it's nice and warm in North Carolina. It, as usual, per January in Michigan, is kind of cloudy and not too much sun here. Looks like a cool blue rather than a warm blue. Very definitely, Susie. That's the perfect word to describe it. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions at all, please just post them for me. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.